So, welcome back, everybody, to the Nomad Battlegrounds semifinals between Tyrant and VNA. There was a restart called by VNA last game, so just going to get this right back underway to see where these guys choose to put their docks down, or TCs rather, but looks like ACCM will be throwing down his TC in the north of the map. He will be the Purple Celts once again. His teammate Cool in the green, see where he's landing, will be sort of in the western part of the map as the Malay. So these guys a lot closer together this time.
And for the other team, we have the Tyrant team with two victories right now. Just need one more to be able to advance to the next round and have a better shot at that $1,500 prize pool, of which most will go to the winner. We have the Viper playing as the Japanese in the middle of the map. And down at the south, we have Tato playing as the Malay. They were able to pick from a civ pool, and as you can see, both teams picked the Malay, very strong civilizations. And we have the Viper as the Japanese and ACCM as the Celts.
Yeah, so this is some pretty interesting TC positions, nobody, because man, oh man, is Tato safe.
Yeah. You know, if there's any player that I would like in the hot seat, I suppose, and the whatever euphemism you want to call it. I'm sure Killer B would have a better euphemism for it, but the Viper is going to be in between his two opponents, and he's going to have to take some pressure early on from the game, while, Tato maybe goes for Fast Castle, maybe he goes for a Boom, and the Viper might be on his own. We'll see.
Yeah, I definitely think that's a pretty good potential here from Tato to get a pretty massive Boom. I mean, he just has all the space in the world to work with, and a fully boomed Malay in the early to mid Imperial Age can be pretty difficult to stop.
Now, interestingly, we have Cool's dock positions actually in the south there, along with Tato's. The thing is, Cool can add his further docks to the left side, so might have a little bit of a sandwich on Tato. But Tato's playing. They're both playing as the Malay, so no advantage there. So that could go either way, in my opinion. As far as the other dock positions go, well, actually, Tato has his first dock in the north there, so he's going to be one dock down on that side. So maybe he'd be at a little disadvantage here with Cool having an extra dock here on the left side a little later on.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting that both of the Malay players kind of built their docks right next to their opponents, but like you're saying, probably a slight edge to Cool in that because he can build his dock on the left side. Lots of sheep for Cool as well, but yeah, it looks like Cool actually has a plethora of food resources with some deer and boars to the left of his TC.
So Cool has a lot of food on this map. He does not have good access to gold or stone at all, really. Where in the world is his nearest gold?
Back in Narnia, by the looks of things.
Back in the last map, yeah.
Yeah, back in the last map. That's really his best access to gold. You are very right, nobody. Oh, man.
The closest gold I see is next to ACCM's town center.
Yeah. That's not good. Also, stone for both of the VNA teams is in the middle of the map.
ACCM has some stone in the back, up in the very north.
Ooh, yeah, you're right.
But it is within galley range, so that could potentially be a problem.
Yeah, but that's their only stone. But then on the other hand, look at all their gold. They have so much gold. Like, to the right of ACCM's base, there are 3 massive gold piles.
Yeah. That said, though, the Tyrant team has a lot of access to gold, too. Most of the gold is in the southern to right part of the map. We mentioned before how Nomad, anyone can win because these spawns can be a little bit imbalanced sometimes. As you can see, clearly, the Tyrant's having a better map position as far as resource availability.
Yeah, everything for the Tyrants looks, pretty standard, to pretty good. Tato also has plenty of deer next to his TC, as well as a couple boars, so definitely do expect a Boom from this guy. But with all of this gold here in the middle to south of the map, like you were saying, these Tyrants can get this train going on pretty quickly and just spam in very expensive gold units over to their opponents.
All players with their dock up. The Viper has his dock over to the west, and ACCM has added his dock over to the east. What kind of strategy do you think we see from the Viper?
Maybe some Castle Age Monk and Mangonel pressure. That would be pretty reasonable as the Japanese, who have very good monks, and, they have Mangonels. So
Yes, they have mangonels.
like every civ,
Every civ so far.
so far, please no more civs.
It's the new Native American civilizations have no access to siege.
That there would have to be some real interesting balance to make those guys
But
balanced.
their buildings are mobile.
Oh God. Please no. Please. I just want to see some mobile towers rolling into.
Jokes aside, yeah, okay. I assume Viper eventually will, especially go for something more aggressive here. Tato, of course, goes something more defensive, and more flexibility for the VNA players. What do you think about the Celts' choice here? What do you think could be some of the strategies we see from them?
I think, the wood bonus is obviously fantastic on this map. The wood is a very premium resource as you need it for your ships, as well as to get your economy up and rolling. Late game, Celt's going to be pretty devastating with their excellent siege and infantry spam. However, the Japanese do kind of shred through the Celts with their samurai. So we actually might have to see some Celt Scorpions or something, because thinking about it, samurai absolutely annihilate both Karambits and Celt infantry. So
Yeah, but that said, that's assuming players are the same position developmentally, and the Viper's able to get his castles up. Of course, the Viper is going to be probably behind developmentally if he's not able to do any damage. So that is something that probably has to be said. One thing I'm learning as I'm watching more Nomad games, I'm still learning, but as you said, the Celts with their their siege and their death ball should be very effective here, and I think that goes to one of the points on Nomad. Not as important to be mobile, but more important to just be able to take control of parts of the map and just go straight through with heavy units.
Yeah, certainly, because you compare Nomad to a map like Arabia, because you have the map just ringed by water, you just have less space to work with. So units that are able to control space more effectively are going to be the units you want to go for.
Yeah, and I have to say, after watching some of these games and the series last week, I'm really getting a little bit more of an appreciation of Nomad, and I'm glad to be seeing a Nomad tournament, which we haven't seen in a while. And it's really good to see these games.
Yeah, definitely. I'm a big fan of sort of slightly atypical maps, like not the crazy, goofy meme maps, but something that's just a little bit out of the ordinary.
I'm a fan of goofy meme maps.
Well, I am too for community games, but less so for tournament games.
Nomad is about as goofy as it gets for high level play. Yeah.
Yeah, I just like these maps that sort of slightly nudge these pro players, force them to be a bit more creative, have a bit more interesting, intriguing decision making, and sort of rewarding that in certain players. So that's pretty cool. Though getting back to the game, cool. There we go. Excellent segue. Gathering stone in the middle of the map by Viper.
Oh god, I just got that. That's so bad. So yeah, cool. He's chosen to go for a fast No, he's in the feudal age. My bad. But he did a really slow feudal age and has lost a lot of his fishing and didn't have that advantage that we thought he'd have earlier in the game because of that really slow uptime. He is mining a bit of stone, getting a blacksmith up. Actually, gonna go for a fast castle, but it's gonna have to use the market for the gold.
Yes, he will. But is it going to be a castle drop for him? No, it can't be a castle drop because he's walling in his villagers on the stone with a blacksmith and a house. So
only 3 villagers.
It's going to only be 3 villagers. So no castle drop going to be incoming for him. Likely just going to be a boom for him.
And he's currently exiting the town centers of the Viper. The Viper's up. All 3 players are up right now. Tato is not up, but he's certainly done a lot of damage in the water and has tons of food to work with. And it looks like he's going with a market now, so he should be up fairly shortly too.
Of course, Tato going to be able to take advantage of the Malay uptime bonus, so he'll be just fine. And like you were saying earlier, Tato, he has space to work with, to say the least, in getting up a big economy quite quickly.
Yeah, even going to wall himself. Do you think, is this a good decision for him to wall himself? He's kind of, in a way, not going to be able to help the Viper at all. Maybe he thinks the Viper wouldn't need any help this game?
I think that's definitely a big assumption to make if you're Tato. I mean, this is a lot of...
It is. It's a lot of investment, though, and if you're going to make military anyway, then why would you wall yourself?
I mean, and why do you even need to be walled? You're miles away from your opponents. Like, this is a very strange decision for Tato, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I just don't understand it. Even with the booming strategy, it just doesn't really make much sense right now. Cool gonna upgrade to War Galley. He's gonna be the first player to do that, so he's going to try to get back onto the water. There's no hope with the water on the left side. Over on the right side, there is still a lot of fishing for these players, although not as much fish in the sea.
Yeah, I was, I checked the tech tree to see if Tato had gotten coinage to sling the Viper, but not that I could see.
You normally sling the Japanese, though?
I mean, you sling the Viper, right?
Makes sense with this positioning, with the town centers and everything, but usually you sling to go for something other than Arbalest and Siege Ram.
No Siege Ram for Japanese, even, remember?
I have to say, it does make sense, though, especially with this gold positioning, though, if you're able to just maintain that.
Yeah, and Tato doesn't have a blacksmith, so no Castle Age soon for him, so I have to assume he's going to be slinging.
No, he sold the wood. Well, let's see. He'd be able to click up now if he wanted to with the... No, he's going to have the blacksmith right now. I don't think it's going to be sling.
Okay. Good. Slinging's boring.
If we do a reverse sling where the Viper slings too with Tato, that would be a horrible decision.
It just dies instantly.
Yeah. Town Center coming up from Cool. Lone Knight from the Viper with Bloodlines and +1 attack, notably. That signals to me that the Viper wants to get some early villager kills. He's not going to get it. Not going to be that annoying. However, he does have some Knights over on the right side, and they will be able to pick off a few villagers as there's little reaction from ACCM.
Yeah, that's a little bit of slow reaction, losing a couple of villagers he didn't need to. The +1 attack is noteworthy here for these Knights because, in case you guys didn't know, Knights kill villagers in 5 hits without +1 attack and 4 hits with +1 attack. So that's sort of a time to kill threshold big difference.
Yeah, I was about to mention that. Most of the time, we're not able to do these calculations in our mind. Does the +1 attack matter? Does it not matter? Does +2 make a big difference as far as hits to kill? But that's always one that you have to keep in mind. Is the +1 attack on Knights means 1 less shot for the villagers.
Yep, Viper going to be running in. Now having the +1 defense going to be helping a lot in terms of absorbing arrow fire, but I don't think he's going to get too much damage done.
This is a lot of Knights in the early game. Again, we talked about how the Viper should be aggressive here, how, could allow Tato can boom that way, and he could stay alive that way.